You must have chaos within you to give birth to a dancing star. Friedrich Nietzsche. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. Buddha. Two men. Two worlds. Two visions of the human soul. One tells you that to truly live, you must embrace the storm. The other whispers that only by dissolving desire will you be free. You stand between them. One hand stretched toward the fire, the other toward the void. Here is the great question: is peace always the highest goal, or can it be a quiet form of surrender? History worships peace as the ultimate prize. Every empire claims to fight for it. Every religion promises it. Every motivational speaker sells it. But peace is not always innocence. Sometimes, it is a cage built of silence. Sometimes, it is the polished gravestone of your untaken risks. Buddha renounced his throne, his pleasures, his identity. He sought an end to suffering by ending craving itself. A clean cut from the endless wheel of becoming. Nietzsche looked at that same wheel and spat on it. He called for a more fatty, the love of fate, to say yes to life with all its blood, sweat, and unbearable beauty. One saw desire as the chain. The other saw desire as the forge. And now you are told every day to be at peace, to let go, to move on. But you feel the quiet pressure to settle before you've lived. Carl Jung warns, beware of unearned wisdom. To seek peace too early is to steal from yourself the storms that make you real. Think of the soldier who returns from war and cannot find joy in calm. The artist who, after one masterpiece, retreats into comfort, never to create again. The lover who stops chasing beauty after heartbreak, choosing safety over passion. Peace came. But so did emptiness. On the surface, the teachings of Buddha and Nietzsche seem to live in different universes. One walks barefoot in stillness. The other stomps through life with lightning in his eyes. Yet they meet at the same door, the confrontation with suffering. The difference lies in what you do next. Buddha says, step back. Detach. Watch the river flow without being carried away. Nietzsche says, step forward. Dive in. Let the current crush you until you grow gills. Which is the true path? Which is the trap? And here lies the danger: most people don't choose peace out of enlightenment. They choose it out of exhaustion. Out of fear. Out of a deep, unspoken desire to stop fighting before they've truly begun. This is the shadow side of peace. The one no one writes on inspirational posters. The one that whispers to you late at night, just stop trying. It feels holy. It feels wise. But it can be nothing more than the slow burial of your potential. On Legend's Legacy, we strip away the pretty lies history tells you. We don't give you comfort, we give you the keys to your own cage. And in the clash between Nietzsche and Buddha, you will see a mirror of your own life. Stay with me until the end, and you will never look at inner peace the same way again. Because peace can be freedom. Or it can be a velvet coffin. The question is, which one are you sleeping in? Tell me. Whose voice would you follow? The quiet breath of Buddha? Or the roaring challenge of Nietzsche? Share your answer in the comments, and subscribe to Legend's Legacy so you don't just watch history, you wrestle with it. Next, we dig into the hidden roots of this tension. Where it was born. Why it still controls you. And why the danger is far older than you think. The desire for peace is ancient. It is wired into the human nervous system. Your ancestors were hunted. They lived with hunger in their bellies and fear in their bones. For them, peace was not an idea. It was the difference between life and death. The body still remembers. Even today, in the stillness of your living room, your brain scans for danger like a soldier in the trenches. And here is the first trap: your mind confuses safety with fulfillment. It will seduce you into avoiding risk, not because risk is wrong, but because survival once depended on it. Nietzsche saw this in the herd mentality of his time. He wrote of the last man, a creature who has traded the heights of greatness for the shallow comfort of predictability. We have invented happiness, the last man says, blinking in the sun. But the happiness he speaks of is nothing more than sedation. Buddha saw something different. Not the cowardice of the herd, but the suffering of the restless mind. He saw men chasing desire as if it were water, only to drink salt. No matter how much they consumed, the thirst grew stronger. 2 diagnoses. 2 medicines. One says, you are too afraid. You must learn to fight. The other says, you are too hungry. You must learn to let go. The problem is that most of us take the wrong medicine. We embrace Buddha's detachment not out of clarity, but because we are secretly afraid to want too much. We adopt Nietzsche's call to struggle not out of courage, but because we are addicted to chaos. Dark psychology reveals the forces pulling these strings. Cognitive dissonance, the mind's desperate attempt to align beliefs with actions. If you can't get what you want, you convince yourself you never wanted it. It feels like peace, but it's just resignation wearing a mask. Learned helplessness, the prison built when repeated failures teach you there's no point in trying. You stop fighting long before the war is over. Loss aversion, the instinct to fear losing what you have more than you value gaining what you don't. So you protect comfort instead of chasing greatness. Buddha warned of desire's endless traps. Nietzsche warned of safety's slow rot. Neither underestimated the mind's power to deceive itself. Arthur Schopenhauer, a shadow between them, once said, a man can do what he wills, but he cannot will what he wills. He saw the prison bars in our own psychology, how even our choices are shaped by unseen forces. And here is the heart of the tension, you cannot tell if your desire for peace is enlightenment, or surrender. You cannot tell if your thirst for challenge is bravery, or a fear of stillness. History is littered with examples. Rome, after conquering the known world, drowned in its own comfort. Dynasties in China, after golden ages of art and philosophy, slid into decay the moment peace became their only goal. On the other hand, countless seekers, from monks in Tibet to hermits in deserts, found profound awakening in detachment, but only after facing life fully. Peace is not the enemy. But seeking it without first confronting the storms of your soul is like planting seeds in frozen ground. Nothing will grow. This is why the question between Nietzsche and Buddha is not simply East versus West, chaos versus calm. It is about timing. About sequence. About whether you are running toward peace, or away from life. And in this lies the silent danger. Because the world will praise you for finding peace, even if what you've really found is an escape route from your own potential. Now, you'll see why this danger is not just theoretical. It is already shaping your choices, your relationships, your future, and you may not even know it. The danger isn't out there. It's already inside you. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, the roots grow deeper. They wrap around your ambition like vines, pulling you slowly into stillness. You call it balance. You call it being realistic. But it's something darker. It's the quiet surrender you don't want to admit. Neurologists know this well, the brain is a miser of energy. It rewards you for doing less. The dopamine rush you feel after avoiding a risk is the same chemical that once rewarded your ancestors for surviving a hunt. It's a system designed for survival, not greatness. And so, in the name of peace, you begin to shrink. It starts small. You stop speaking up in meetings. You don't take the trip you've been dreaming of. You pass on love because it's complicated. But time is not neutral. Each avoided storm changes you. The fire you once carried dims, and you barely notice, because you are too comfortable to miss it. Nietzsche called this the domestication of man. The transformation of the human spirit from predator to livestock. Federal sheltered. Safe. And utterly unremarkable. Buddha warned of another danger, the wheel of becoming, where desire chains you to endless cycles of craving and disappointment. But what most people forget is this: Buddha's peace came only after he faced desire head-on. He didn't escape the palace because he was tired of life. He escaped because he had truly seen it. Most never get that far. They don't face life deeply enough to earn their detachment. Instead, they collapse into it like a weary traveler dropping into a stranger's bed. This is the unseen consequence. Peace chosen too soon robs you of the very experiences that would have made that peace meaningful. Look at history. The Spartans thrived in the chaos of war, but when they sought stability, they crumbled. Artists like Van Gogh created through storms of madness. Had he found peace too early, the world might never have seen his sunflowers. The same pattern echoes in personal lives. The young man who turns down a chance to study abroad because it's too stressful. The woman who gives up on starting her own business because she fears instability. Both may find peace, but only in the same way a bird finds peace in a cage. This is why your choices today are more dangerous than you think. Every time you reject discomfort, you reinforce a neural pathway. Over years, it becomes your default mode. Until one day, you wake up and realize you are no longer capable of wanting deeply. That is the slow death Nietzsche feared most, the death before death. Viktor Frankl, survivor of the Holocaust, once said, "What man actually needs is not a tensionless state but rather the striving and struggling for some goal worthy of him." The unseen consequence of chasing peace too soon is not just the loss of ambition. It is the loss of meaning. And meaning cannot be bought back later. By the time you notice its absence, the part of you that could have fought for it may already be gone. This is not a call to reject peace forever. It is a warning that peace without battle is an empty crown. Let's step into rebellion. Let's see how to break this pattern. How to walk the razor's edge between Buddha's stillness and Nietzsche's storm, without falling into the trap of either. Rebellion doesn't always start with a scream. Sometimes, it starts with a whisper. A whisper that says, "Not yet. Not yet will I lay down my sword. Not yet will I make peace with the life I have not fully lived." Breaking free begins with one simple truth: your instincts are outdated. They are built for survival, not greatness. You must train them to serve you, or they will quietly chain you. Nietzsche's answer was to cultivate the Übermensch, the higher man who creates his own values, his own path, his own storms. Not because chaos is pleasant, but because it is the furnace where greatness is forged. Buddha's answer was to see clearly, to burn away illusions until desire lost its power over you. Not because life was rejected, but because it was understood so deeply that it no longer ruled your mind. The rebellion lies in merging their lessons. From Nietzsche, embrace voluntary suffering. Seek the discomfort that shapes you. Run toward the challenge, not away from it. From Buddha, master the mind. Learn to step back, to watch your impulses without obeying them. Detach, but only after you've lived fully enough to have something worth detaching from. History gives us rebels who lived this fusion. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor who ruled Rome in the chaos of plague and war. He embraced the storm, yet trained his mind in calm detachment. His meditations are not the writings of a man who fled life, but of one who fought in it without losing himself. Harriet Tubman, born into slavery, escaping through forests under threat of death, then returning to free others. She didn't chase safety, she risked it again and again. Yet she kept her purpose clear, unshaken by fear or desire for personal glory. Leonardo da Vinci, restless curiosity pushing him into countless fields, never satisfied with comfort. Yet he also withdrew into observation, letting stillness sharpen his genius. The rebellion is not reckless chaos, nor is it early retreat. It is deliberate danger, chosen with clarity. To practice it, you need weapons. Weapon 1, the 3-second rule of action. When you feel the pull of avoidance, count to 3 and move. Make the call. Take the step. Start the work. This kills hesitation before it blooms into fear. Weapon 2, discomfort journaling each day. Note the moment you avoided discomfort. Then imagine the version of yourself who chose the harder road, and decide which life you would rather live. Weapon 3, desire mapping. Write your goals, then ask of each, is this mine, or was it planted in me by someone else? Nietzsche demanded self-created values. Buddha demanded clarity of mind. This forces both. Weapon 4, the not yet vow. Whenever the temptation for peace arises, ask, have I earned it? If not, whisper to yourself, not yet. The rebellion is not about rejecting peace forever. It is about delaying it until it becomes a crown you have fought for, not a blanket you hid under. The world will try to stop you. Friends will call you restless. Family will urge you to settle. Society will reward you for compliance. But as Nietzsche warns, the secret of reaping the greatest fruitfulness and the greatest enjoyment from life is to live dangerously. And as Buddha reminds, there is no path to happiness, happiness is the path. Two truths. Two edges of the same blade. In the final part, we will step beyond rebellion, into the ultimate truth. The insight that reframes both Buddha and Nietzsche, revealing the deepest reason peace can be a trap, and how to escape it forever. The truth is this: peace is not the opposite of chaos. It is born from it. You cannot skip the storm and keep the rainbow. You cannot leap to the summit without climbing the mountain. You cannot harvest meaning from a life you never fully lived. This is why peace, sought too soon, becomes poison. It feels like liberation, but it is simply absence. Absence of risk. Absence of growth. Absence of the scars that give you shape. Nietzsche understood that life is not meant to be escaped, it is meant to be embraced, suffered, transformed. Buddha understood that attachment to life's illusions keeps you enslaved, but only after you have looked them in the eye. The ultimate truth is not choosing one over the other. It is seeing the pattern they both saw. You must first be willing to live fully before you can ever be free from the need to live fully. Without the fire of Nietzsche, Buddha's peace becomes numbness. Without the stillness of Buddha, Nietzsche's fire burns you into ash. The trap is not peace itself. The trap is mistaking comfort for peace. Real peace is not the absence of struggle. It is the mastery of it. The ability to stand in the heart of the storm and feel no fear. And here's the paradox: you cannot achieve this mastery by hiding. You must walk through the fire. You must embrace the failures, heartbreaks, humiliations, and uncertainties you are tempted to avoid. Only then does your stillness carry weight. History's greatest souls lived this paradox. Miyamoto Musashi, the undefeated samurai who faced over 60 life-or-death duels, then ended his life in quiet meditation. His peace meant something because it was forged in blood. Nelson Mandela, imprisoned for 27 years, emerging without bitterness, leading his nation toward reconciliation. His stillness had weight because it was tempered in chains. Helen Keller, deaf and blind, yet fiercely pursuing knowledge, art, and political change. Her calm dignity was not born of safety, but of relentless struggle. Peace without the storm is hollow. The storm without peace is self-destruction. The highest path is to live both. This is the great realization, that peace is not a destination. It is a crown placed on your head only after you have earned the right to wear it. Most people want the crown without the battle. They want the enlightenment without the dark night of the soul. They want the wisdom without the wounds. But you are no longer most people. You now see the difference. You now understand that every time you choose comfort over challenge, you are not finding peace, you are burying yourself alive. Nietzsche leaves you with fire, become who you are. Buddha leaves you with water, peace comes from within. The question is, will you stand still before you've truly lived? Or will you fight the battles that make your peace worth keeping? Because peace is not given. It is taken, from the jaws of life itself. Tell me, whose crown would you wear? The quiet crown of Buddha? Or the burning crown of Nietzsche? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And subscribe to Legends Legacy, where history doesn't just teach you, it dares you.